Chapter 4. Skepticism.
Do you know how many bands have died in small plane crashes?
Christina asked from the back seat of a green Ford Windstar minivan. The paint was peeling on the hood, and it was hot and sticky inside with the sweat of 5 young musicians. We had less than 1 day to travel from Gig Harbor, Washington, to a music festival where we were to play in Salt Lake City, Utah. Just because it's happened before doesn't mean it'll happen to us. We'll be fine, I answered. Many times during my life, I felt like I was forcing musicians in my band against their will to do something that would make their lives bearable. They all complained about their jobs, yet every step of progress the band made, no matter how small, seemed to step uphill. It was as if I couldn't get them to see there was something outside of their little lives, and so they constantly pulled against me.
Sure beats the hell out of driving the whole way in this damn minivan.
This thing smells like old sandwiches,
grumbled our bass player, only half joking. He was a small guy, dyed black hair, unshaven, with a little tuft of facial hair under his bottom lip. His style of humor was to complain in a funny voice so it sounded like he was impersonating a grouchy old man, all while really voicing a complaint. It was effective, since you couldn't argue with a joke, but it was really just his way of bitching about everything.
Well, if we drive the whole way, by the time we get to Salt Lake City,
we'll all smell like old sandwiches.
Patsy Cline, they had to ID her body from a piece the size of a loaf of bread. That's all that was left of her.
Christina was sort of our voice of, not reason, but voice of perpetual doubt despite all reason. Or at least that's how she was in those days. She was a tall blonde and was usually seen with pigtails. She was also the type of pianist that would stay up late at night reading biographies of long-dead composers through the reading glasses she didn't want anybody to know she wore. We'll be fine. Statistically speaking, there's a greater chance of dying in the shower than dying in a plane crash, I said from behind the wheel. Thank God we were not going to drive the whole way to Salt Lake City. If people were going to bitch the whole time, I think I would have cracked before we got there.
John Denver.
Look, if we're going to drive, we have to have left 5 hours ago. We have to fly now, I retorted. I'm the lead singer of this band. I write the songs, mostly about how much my life sucks or about my parents' divorce, as well as make the website, make the newsletters, and everything else. In those days, we were the kind of band that stood on stage wearing all black, trying hard not to smile, even though we were really excited that all of 75 people turned out for the show.
Buddy Holly.
Our odorific van pulled off the back road into the gravel of a local airfield. A few weeks ago, at an after-party, one of our fans bragged about his pilot's license. He offered to fly us to a show if we bought gas for his plane. At the time, the idea seemed exciting and glamorous, but as the dust settled in the parking lot of what had to be the smallest airport in the country, and we saw a teeny rusted plane ahead of us, I was starting to think maybe Christina was right. On the other hand, this was starting to look like an adventure.